Did that cost you an arm and a leg? Or was it just something that...
yeah, it was an arm and a leg.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But I got new replacements. They're bionic.
Okay.
So when I move fast, they make a sound. It's like...
Is it a good sound, or are you like, should I pull over?
It's literally this sound.
Well, that's Bionic Man.
That's
so
me.
That's kind of awesome.
Because I have a bionic arm and a leg now.
Right.
I'm almost more human than human. Wait, what?
Why, did you have, like, hip surgery?
Yes. Pure adamantium hips now.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
excellent. I had a double hernia, so I also, above my junk, have some sort of metallic mesh.
That's fucking metal,
Yeah,
dude.
it is metal. Metal cock.
It's fucking metal.
You got balls of steel, quite
Balls
literally.
of steel. Speaking of balls of steel, welcome to the podcast.
Yes, this is Full Tilt Boogie.
That's right. That's what we named it.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did name it that. This is episode 2.
Now with improved audio and video.
Yes, yes. This is our time to talk things all nerdy and dirty. My name is Jim Brogan,
I'm Scott White.
and here we are.
It's true.
Yes, it is
It's
true.
So, I don't know. What's going on, man?
Oh, you know, it's just been a thing. So, Guardians came out. You
Guardians
saw
came out. I saw
it.
it.
Guardians 3.
I went to the movies. I saw it by myself, so no one would be talking to me during the movie because I fucking hate that shit. And I loved it. It was fun. It was fun. It was out of all the Marvel movies, there's I like all of the characters.
Yeah,
in
everybody.
the movie.
Yeah, and particularly that movie, everyone got a really good beat.
Yeah, yeah. Like everybody is super unique to their to their own. You know what I mean? Like I really like how Drax is just a big Drax,
A big goof.
big goofball. You know, it's like just like the variety of their attitudes and everything.
Yeah, I think it's great in a way that, I think Dave Bautista has learned to act, but I think his lack of acting ability, like when he first got the Drax role, made it better.
I think so.
That's one of the few times where bad acting makes a movie better.
I never thought about that, but yeah.
Because it just was that sort of just very dry, literal, everything's literal.
Yeah.
So, which they actually make fun of because the whole thing, wasn't there a thing about metaphors?
Yes.
And he's like, I have metaphors, fish in a pond.
No, it was great. All around, I don't think there was really anything that I didn't like about it, except for before I went and saw it, someone was like, "Oh, I fucking cried 3 times." Well, you're a pussy. Movie, just relax.
There's a lot of animal abuse in that, though. So
there is.
If you get a little misty-eyed about something, I'm gonna leave a little bit of room for that.
Yeah. No, that's fine. If it hits home, it hits home.
Right.
Know?
Oh, this is gonna be spoiler heavy too, by the way. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to click out.
What was that dog movie? The fucking the real fucking tearjerker dog.
What,
movie.
Marley and Me?
Yeah.
I won't watch a single frame of that movie. Nope.
That one got me.
I will be a sobbing mess.
Yeah.
No fucking way can I watch a movie like that.
Yeah, no. But Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, okay, I understand the plight of the lab fucking animals and shit, you know.
Yeah.
And I really liked the other ones.
And it didn't feel like
the
it was
Spider Bunny and all that shit.
Yes.
They were fucking cool as shit.
I'll tell you what broke my heart about the spider, but Floor, right? Was that Floor?
Floor, yeah.
Okay. Was
Floor.
The names are great. She didn't get to me. The mouth thing was one thing, but it was like when she's on her spider legs, and then her dead legs are just flapping the whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. I'm like sad and sick all at the same time. Brutal.
Yeah.
Did you think? Because, all right, so you and I managed to catch it enough time. I thought for sure, I know there was a Deadpool going with, who's gonna die? Was it gonna be Rocket? Was it gonna be Drax? Was it gonna be Peter? And I maybe it's the genius of James Gunn, but there was a beat in not every single character, those 3 in particular, that were they're dead. When Drax gets blasted in the chest, he's dead.
He's dead.
Rocket, you thought he was going to be dead the whole time.
Peter in space,
bloaty face.
I thought he was going to do a Princess Leia and start fucking.
Oh God. I think the director had an idea to stay as far away from that. Here's the other thing. I thought it's not a complaint. Adam Warlock he could have not have been in that movie. 100%.
He was unnecessary.
Completely.
I didn't like how he was just like a pouty bitch.
Yeah.
Like
with his weird face. That
with
was
his
his
weird
face.
face.
That was his weird face. Yeah.
Yeah. Like just stop, dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. And even though they did use him, and at the end he was kind of like, you know, like thankful and I'm gonna hang out. Like there could have been more to that part of it than the rest of the movie where he's just being a
because he was
dick.
fucking powerful as shit.
He's just a childish dickhead.
Yes,
you
he
know,
is a childish dickhead.
But I don't recall him being like that in the comics. I'm not super familiar with his character, but when I did read stuff, he was like super badass, all powerful.
Yes.
Fucking.
But he's also very godlike, very stoic, very like he wasn't like an emotional baby. Like
not
he
a pouty
was.
bitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck you, Adam Warlock.
Yeah. Don't come back for Guardians 4.
No, we don't want you.
You can bring Rocket back because Rocket's awesome.
Yes.
So who's the MVP for that film for me though is Nebula. Yeah. Like her storyline from the first Guardians through all the Avengers movies up until the last Guardians, she has one of the coolest storylines of all of Marvel. Like arcs.
Yeah. I liked I think my favorite part in the movie was when Star-Lord was like, never noticed how black your eyes are. She's like, my father put them in to torture me.
And then he keeps looking. And
she's like, stop it! Knock it off!
Yeah. Like I said, MVP. Oh, yeah. And
so great.
It was awesome. And I also, one of the other awesome things about the movie, too, was not putting, because Gamora's not the same Gamora that we grew to love, and they did not put them back together. They didn't force them together. I thought that was like, that's real life.
Yeah.
For a science fiction space movie with a cybernetic raccoon. And a talking tree.
And you know the end with Groot.
Yes.
Where he actually said something else.
Yes.
I was like, oh, okay, all right, so he can.
Nope, he can't. This is what the director said. So it'll probably be on like the commentaries or whatever. Is that what the director said? Is he actually said, "I am Groot," but because we've been with him for all these years,
we heard it proper.
You understand it. And I love that. I love that.
I like that.
I thought that was great.
That's
cool.
So
he doesn't actually say "I love you." He says "I am Groot," but because we're all part of the Guardians of the Galaxy now, we understand what the hell he's saying.
All right. I like that.
Yeah, I thought
like that.
That's cute. I thought that was cute.
I can get behind that idea. All right. Wow. I wonder how much Vin Diesel got paid for it. Actual words.
Can you imagine just like I'm gonna get paid like even if it's not $1 million, but it's probably like even if it's $500,000, it's one day of work. You don't have to fucking go to the gym.
We need you to say this one thing 24 different ways.
Yeah, and have a nice day. Have a nice day. I mean, obviously, who does Rocket? Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper, yeah.
Obviously had to put a little bit more work in, and from what I've seen his behind the scenes, he does the work. Like he's literally acting like Groot,
animated,
even though it's not. It's James Gunn's brother who is Groot pre-Viz.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Who is Kraglin in Guardians?
Yes. Okay. All right.
And he finally got the whistle arrow moment.
The whistle thing.
Yeah, the hallway scene was fucking awesome.
Yep. Yeah. The whole movie was fucking great.
Yeah, it's the best Marvel
movie. I was very happy with it. There was no turds that I can think of.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't. Is that important?
No, I'm not paying attention. That's why I put it on silent. Sorry. Excuse me, I have to take this call. It's very important.
But yeah, I like it. I would watch it again.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah, and it's a great way to finish out that trilogy too.
And you know, usually, personally, not a fan of. I find that trilogies kind of go downhill. You know.
Yes. Oh, that's an upcoming episode, by the way. This was his idea.
Yes.
That third movies always suck. That didn't suck.
Hold on a second.
We're ahead of the game.
My list is over here.
You have a list already? Damn it, I didn't write a list down.
No, not of trilogies. Just of things for today.
Okay.
Yes.
Your rundown. We call that a rundown.
Rundown. I got my rundown.
Yeah.
Bro. Yep. So, 2 thumbs up.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. So, predicting the future, where we're going to get more Star-Lord. Thank God.
Yeah.
Where do you think he's going to appear next?
Not in Armor Wars.
No. Although, no.
That's really the only thing I'm looking forward to.
Do you think maybe he'll be the next leader of the Avengers?
I don't know.
I think he'll definitely be in those Avengers movies when they come out.
I don't think he'll be the leader of the Avengers.
But who is going to lead the Avengers? Is it going to be Falcon? Or Sam Wilson?
I hope not.
I mean, he's the new Cap.
He's just a normal dude, though.
Have we explained that, though? Because he did get his new armor from Wakanda. So maybe he's got, like, Iron Man type specs on his armor.
I mean, that's legit.
I mean, he did lift a car.
The fact of the matter, though, is that he shouldn't... Honestly, he shouldn't have gotten as far as he did just being a normal man. Like Hawkeye, too. He's a normal man.
I love Hawkeye.
Who, like, he can jump off buildings and shit.
With the right arrow.
He's definitely a risk taker. I'll give him that, you know? But I don't know, man. It's like... I think it's funny when they mix in, like, normal humans with superhumans, you know, or super beings.
But at least they acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things that I read in an Avengers comic not that long ago, and it was Hawkeye that was actually talking about it. And he goes, you know, I'm surrounded by gods and super soldiers and all this other kind of shit. He goes, and like in the movies, I'm just a guy with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
And he goes, every Avenger gets their moment. There is some point that what our skill set is needed.
Right.
And I think they've always wrote that into the Avengers movies. But it was cool to actually hear it verbalized, other than just be like, I'm just a guy with a bow and arrow, because it's really dismissive. And I can't remember who he was telling, but he mentioned himself in Black Widow, and he's like, we all get our moment where it's necessary for someone like us to be on the team. I thought that was cool.
That's cool. There can always be repeat Black Widow movies.
If they use... I mean, yeah.
Just because.
You mean with the replacement? Or just... You're just happy.
I just want to see Scarlett Johansson all the time.
So here's a theory I came up with, and I meant to write this down, so I'm glad you brought that up. So we have, and this is a prediction that I had made, although I'm not entirely certain, with Secret Invasion coming up, the Nick Fury show.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so what if... Okay, so here's the quick thing. The Skrulls, when they become these characters for the invasion, they literally become them. They're still Skrulls, but they can't really come back. The only time you know they're Skrulls is when they're dead. So once they go through this transition, they stay those characters. So they did it with Spider-Woman, and they did it with Hank Pym, and those are just two examples off the top of my head. What if Black Widow was a Skrull the whole time, and then they can bring Scarlett Johansson back, and then they can get around that time loop thing that they made in Infinity War.
That would be fucking cool.
Right?
Yeah, that's
their way out.
They have so many ways out. You know?
I mean,
yeah, that's
the old adage
was
you were dead, and the answer is I got better.
Yeah, someone brought me back. There's
writers.
Yeah.
Writers.
Writers and investors.
And I don't know if she's. I mean, I don't know if she's going to be in it, and that's just. It's just a theory, and it's mine. But I was like, well, there's their excuse to bring her back. That she was. But then you sort of like undercut like all that shit.
Yeah.
Her whole arc becomes a new arc, which pisses a lot of people off.
Right. There was a thing that happened. I don't know the dates. It was a long time ago. It was I want to say 90s.
Okay.
Band called Entombed came out with an album called Wolverine Blues.
I recall it.
Remember?
Yes.
And they did some sort of a little crossover kind of thing because it referenced Wolverine.
Right.
So there was...
Is it like a concept record?
No.
Okay.
No. Not that I'm aware of. But
There's
I know
no
there
mentions
was...
of Logan.
There was I saw something that had Wolverine with, an Entombed. I don't remember what it was. It was forever ago, and I'm fucking old, so I don't remember anything. So educational, this podcast. Yeah, I think it would be cool if more bands would do kind of crossovers with, like, comic stuff. Like, comic stuff or movie kind of things. I mean, obviously bands make movie, the soundtracks and scores and stuff.
Yeah.
But more like with comics, like you have these these
like literally
Anthrax did I Am the Law,
right,
Judge Dredd,
right,
so we're gonna go there in a second.
All right.
Like that was just about Judge Dredd. It wasn't about anything else.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wish more bands would do shit about like that kind of stuff, like comic characters and movie characters and things like that. It would be really cool.
I think you make a great point in the sense of like, remember in the 80s, there was always soundtracks were super important, especially during the MTV era, but like they were all like interwoven with each other. So this is a stupid example, but it's always the first one that comes to my mind. But like Billy Ocean did When the Going Gets Tough, the Tough Get Going. And I think he did it for the second Romancing the Stone movie.
Okay.
Jewel of the Nile, I believe. Right. And when they made music videos, all the main actors are there. Oh. So like, and that was like rule of thumb. Like, you made a movie that was going to be successful. You had a successful artist that would write a song for it, and then you'd put the actors in the video.
Yeah.
And I feel like since Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn refined that again, like brought soundtracks back. In a sense of like,
he did.
Because, all right, I mean, I guess you could credit Quentin Tarantino, but now we're going back to the 90s again. So that was probably like the last important soundtrack.
I mean, that was really a soundtrack because the songs were like a part of the movie.
Right.
He had a fucking Walkman with a cassette. He had a mixtape, and today's generation doesn't know what the fuck a mixtape is. It's like
even a Discman.
It's a novelty. What's a Discman? And so it's like I see the cultural significance of the Guardians of the Galaxy mixtape. Right. Like that's a big fucking deal, because it's like it's a new generation that didn't have that. They got playlists. Right. And I don't know. It was kind of cool. I always liked making a good mixtape.
Me too. But I do like your idea of like, hey, let's have a popular artist record a song that specifically speaks for this movie. Because you can always have it at the beginning of the movie or the end of the movie too. Yeah. So if you had I Am the Law playing at the beginning of Dredd, the Carl Urban one, not the Sylvester Stallone one, that would be...
We're going to get into
it. Now that you brought that up.
But Hellraiser from that Motorhead.
Right. Was that used in the movie?
Dream Warriors.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
It was in their video.
Yes.
In the Hellraiser one, Pinhead was in the video. It's like I love those crossovers. Yeah. It's just cool shit.
They should bring that back. I absolutely agree with you. The only Dokken song I actually like too, by the way. Do not like Dokken.
You're not rocking with Dokken?
No, Dokken is sucking.
All right. Let's go into Judge Dredd.
Let's do this.
Shall we?
Yes.
Okay.
I did not plan this. I guess he did, so I'm glad he brought that up.
Yes. We all know there's two movies. Sylvester Stallone, the first one.
Which isn't awful, but it's not good Dredd. It's not good Judge Dredd.
All right. Here's where I stand on this.
It's very 90s.
It's very much the comic. The first one is very much the comic. His outfit, the big gold eagle, and the skin tight kind of shit. The goofy characters. Mega City 1 looked like fucking Mega City 1. You know what I mean? And his bike looked fucking killer. The only thing that fucked that movie up was that he took his helmet off. The rest of it is gold in my book. Now, the one with Carl Urban, I think Carl Urban made a great fucking Dredd. He was a really good Dredd. Just the movie sucked dick. The movie was New Jack City.
It was kind of Die Hard, too.
It was New Jack City. Think about it. Drug lords take over an apartment building.
Okay.
Some good guys got to go in and fucking straighten shit out.
That's budgetary, though. That was to see if they could make a small movie like they did with Deadpool and then elevate it up to the next time.
I bet they had more of a budget than the first one. First one had Mean Machine in it.
Yeah,
it had the ABC Warrior robot in it.
Oh, I love Dredd. I can't believe you're saying it sucked dick.
It had
That's crazy
so much good shit in it. And Dredd just had junkies in an apartment building. I don't like it. I like Carl Urban in it. It's fantastic. The special effects sequences of the drug, those were cool.
Oh, when Mama's falling off the building?
Yeah. That was cool. But the rest of the universe around him was just It's New Jack City. It was just like a fucking rundown.
I never thought about that.
Rundown goddamn apartment building. You know, there was no creativity put into the surroundings. You know what I mean?
It just looked like an old rundown apartment.
No cool classic characters from the comics.
Right.
It's a comic movie. It should have some of those things. Like the ABC War Robot. You know what a fucking nerd boner I got when I saw that thing? Holy shit. I was like, oh my God, it's the fucking robot.
I did not see this going this way. But
First one, 100%, but I agree. Should have never taken the helmet off. Judge doesn't.
But if that's your one criticism, and then you liked everything else with it, and then your one approval of Dredd, Carl Urban's Dredd, is he kept the helmet on, but
but the rest of it was a turd.
Disagree.
One location.
That's why we do this.
There's also one location.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying it wasn't in the budget, and if that movie had been successful, they would have made more expensive sequels. Because I know they're still trying to make sequels. Somebody is.
I'd like to find out
what the budget is.
We're gonna pause for a minute. Let's
here. You look
up
up
the.
You look up.
I'm gonna thing on. This thing's on.
Okay, so just when I think I've gone uber nerdy, this one pulls out the trump card.
You know, when you like things, you fucking like.
That's badass. That is sick.
So, yes, ABC Warrior Robot. He doesn't have his shoulder pads on. They're up there.
So explain his character real quick.
So he's a war robot. Who's made just for fucking killing. That's what he does.
Is he sentient or is he just programmed?
He's programmed.
Okay.
He's programmed. Now, I am such a Dredd nerd that I even have the making of Judge Dredd, which shows set photos. We'll look at this later, but it has like everything in it. They built Mega City 1 in this huge, giant field,
right?
Basically, and there's a lot of good photos in that book. I don't know if you can still get this book, but
I bet you can.
It's one of my favorites. It's over here, so I'm not gonna.
That's pretty cool. See, he does look cool in the helmet.
He does look cool in the helmet.
Get it the right light.
So, as it turns out, we did our homework here real quick.
So the
Judge Dredd had a budget of
$90 million in 1995, and Dredd had a budget of $45 million in 2012. So if you inflate that budget
so that's twice the budget
from almost 30 years ago, it would be probably a $180 million movie.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone's Dredd. The Carl Urban Dredd was $45 million, which is a cheap movie to make even today.
That's because they didn't do anything. They
just,
they
not
just
true.
Got a hotel.
It was fucking great. It's fucking great.
If you like hotels, yeah.
You know what my favorite line in New Jack City is, speaking of which?
What's that?
And then we can move on to something else. But I just have to say it. Ice-T has it. He throws Wesley Snipes into like a bunch of garbage. And he's pointing a gun at him.
That's right.
Do you remember what he says?
No.
He goes, I want to kill you so bad, my dick is hard.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, I was the only white dude in the theater, and I laughed my ass off, and I shut the movie down at that point.
That's great. When that movie came out, I worked at a movie theater. That was...
What theater?
When the one...
Tell me Village Green.
Palm Beach Lakes, Village Green.
Oh, shit! Yes. That's where I saw New Jack.
I was working.
You would have enjoyed that line with me. Son of a bitch. Oh, God, it's such a great line.
Yeah, I worked at that theater
if I got,
at that time.
If I got Ice-T's autograph, because I still have the Body Count CD with the original soundtrack on it, I would want him to sign it with that line on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's funny as fuck.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, Dredd.
That's very cool. That's very cool. So, I'm going to talk about a movie that nobody remembers but is awesome. And I'll ask you first. Do you know what this DVD is that I'm holding right here? Okay. There was a movie made in 1983. It's animated.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird, drug-induced fever dream of a fantasy about, like, dreams and nightmares.
Okay.
With very odd, fun characters. Animation's very unique. It's called Twice Upon a Time.
Twice Upon a Time.
And George Lucas produced this.
I do not know of this.
That's the shame of it because it's fucking awesome.
Wow.
You cannot... I'm sure somebody has it illegally downloaded somewhere, but like you cannot rent this through Amazon or anything.
Really?
Yes. And it was one of those movies that... Were you an HBO kid?
Yeah.
Like you saw all the classics on HBO over and over and over again.
Yeah.
This was one of them.
Okay.
And no one remembers it, and it's fucking great.
Weird.
And if you want, you can borrow this.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, because the animation's there's some real life animation and there's some heart to it. But I introduced an old girlfriend who happens to be a friend of mine to it. She loved it. She watched it like 4 times in a row. And so there's one guy that brings bad dreams, and there's another group that brings good dreams. And the good dreams is a guy named Greensleeves, and the people that bring good dreams are the Fig Men. Well, my friend Chrissy made me a Fig Man, and she crocheted this herself.
Wow.
And this would be a great, cute idea that, thankfully, no one else has but me.
Wow.
Sweet dreams.
One of one.
One of one. But she did a great job. It looks exactly
cool.
like it. It looked good.
Nice.
She crocheted that with her hands.
That's cool. It's got little indentations.
That's because yeah.
That's cool. That's nice.
But you should watch this and we can talk about it because it's a great movie. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and it's weird. It's
will.
weird. I love weird ass
Very cool.
80s animated
I'm gonna
movies.
put that over here on my side.
Cool. All right, word. All right, so here's a question that occurred to me earlier today that I've never talked about. So we're not really putting anything. We don't have to stay up to date with, even though we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy, but I've never asked you this. I want to know your opinion on Mad Max Fury Road, because we've never talked about it. And in the first episode, Scott talked about being a car guy, and if you know Scott, he has basically
a Mad Max car.
a Mad Max car. That being said,
Fury Road is a 2-hour car chase.
yes, it is.
The plot doesn't really make sense. They go this way for half the movie, and they turn around and they come back this way for half the movie. And in that amount of time, there's a bunch of car crashes, a bunch of explosions, a bunch of bad guys. I like it. It's dumb, but I like it.
It's fucking awesome.
It is.
The movie's always in perpetual motion, and that's one of the things that I like about
it. There's no lull in it.
Beautifully shot, too.
There's no lull in it. It's not... I would say the acting isn't overdone. It's minimalist at best. The stunts are fucking incredible. They're real stunts.
Yes.
You know, like...
There's hardly any... It's almost all practical.
I like at the end they kind of left whatever the fuck he's doing open as usual, as what they do. I'm not a fan of the idea of a Furiosa movie. I don't think it's necessary.
No, I'd rather see another Mad Max movie.
Now with this movie, something really cool that they did is after the movie came out and you could get it at home, whatever.
Black and white.
The shiny and chrome version.
Right.
The black and white
that
version.
I haven't seen.
It's fucking cool, man. It totally changes it. What is flying in here?
A fly.
Some nerve living up to your name. Asshole. But yeah, the shiny and chrome version. Seeing that whole movie in black and white is very, very cool. This is going to be a problem, Jim. This fucking fly. Did you see the fly?
I saw the...
Fucking Jeff.
What a way to transition. What a perfect way to transition. I love the movie. Oh, real quick on Mad Max.
Yeah,
it's
Mad
my
Max.
favorite of the 4.
It's my favorite of the 4.
And I can't believe I'm saying that over Road Warrior, because Road Warrior is fucking great. But like,
Road Warrior is great, but it was very different.
Yeah.
It was very, very different. It was more of kind of a normal movie, like it was a story and it wasn't like too far-fetched.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was just a lot of people in funny outfits and, it was a little more believable as a post-apocalyptic movie,
However, I will say, like, the funny outfits and that look is one of the things I loved about Fury Road is that really stuck to that, like, sort of 80s apocalypse aesthetic.
Yeah.
That it was like Mad Max and a little bit like Dune, where people had, like remember it was the fat
Breathing
guy with the
apparatuses
breathing
and shit,
apparatuses and the guy with his nipples pierced, but he's still wearing a suit and
It's just
like, it was just weird.
I love, like with him, they just wanted to show you how, like, he was gluttony.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
Yeah.
He was all about the fucking money and keeping track of everything, but he was still, like, just fat and pierced and just...
Gross.
Yeah.
Just gross.
He was gluttony in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I will watch that movie every time it's on. I mean,
Yeah.
It's just sort of like... The funny thing is I think it came out in the same year as I want to say The Force Awakens. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I remember when I watched the Oscars. I know. I'm sure you're rolling your eyes if you're not doing it. You're doing it internally. But I remember I was like, oh, all the technical awards were either Star Wars or Mad Max, and I was like, God, I hope Mad Max wins this because it's a technical marvel. It's just so fucking good. And Force Awakens was a really good looking movie.
Right.
But Mad Max just owned it.
Oh, yeah. Owned it. And the really cool thing, there's I believe it's on YouTube. You can watch it if you haven't seen it. There's a making of the vehicles documentary. And
you know who watched that?
And you know who memorized it. The war rig. They actually made 3 of those. There's 3 of them, identical. Okay. One was the hero rig. One was the long shot, like driving through the desert rig, and the other one was the stunt rig, that they eventually blew up. And also what the fuck's it called? What's his car called? That's called a brain fart. The twin Cadillac one, they built 2 of those.
Right. Is that on the Blu-ray?
Mm-hmm. Like I think it is included on the Blu-ray. Okay. The making of. Okay. And Nux's car, the 32 Coupe.
You mean our future Lex Luthor?
Is he going to be Lex Luthor?
Nux is the guy who sprays his teeth. He's the kid, right? That gets abandoned. He's the front runner.
Oh wow.
Which I think the kid's a good actor. So.
Interesting. All right.
Better than Jen. Oh, do you have to take that?
No, I don't. By the way, today's podcast is fueled by Copper Point Lager and Copper Point Bees Squeeze.
It is good shit.
Good shit. Based out of Point Beach, Florida. That's right. Good place.
Yes.
Shout out to Bree. What's up, Bree?
You better be watching. Chrissy, you better be watching. You got a shout out too.
So yeah, this is my little RC car of my big car. But
like his actual
that I actually built. Wait a minute. I wonder if this will work. I don't know if this will work.
You can always drop in photos.
Can I do this? No, look. See that? Maybe you can see that. There's my car.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. Romp.
And you take that to a bunch of car shows and shit too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. Is it specifically Volkswagen?
Yeah. I'm kind of over towing it to California for Wasteland Weekend. Like, I think its days are done there.
Explain what Wasteland is.
It's a Mad Max themed event in the desert. It's kind of bitching.
Yeah, it is kind of bitching. Like, that's on my bucket list with you at some point in time.
It's pretty fucking amazing. I'm going to be building another vehicle that's going to live out there that I don't have to tow across the country. Yeah.
You have a place that you keep it at out there?
Yeah.
And what state is it in? Arizona?
California.
California.
It's in the Mojave Desert.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty life changing.
How many years have you been doing this?
I've done it for 4 years now. 4 or 5. 4. I don't know. 4.
Explain a little bit of the concept of it, though.
It is a Mad Max themed event in the desert. These people bought this chunk of land in the Mojave Desert, just outside of California City, and once a year there's Wasteland Weekend, and it's like 4 or 5. It's 5 days. It's immersive. Like, you can't walk around in your regular clothes. Like, you have to dress the part and dress your camp. Your camp has to look authentic. Your vehicles have to be authentic. Like, you can't drive in an RV and expect to park anywhere close to town, because they call it town,
right?
Like the main area. Like, they'll put you out in the sticks.
So it's not for like somebody who, like, you have to commit to this. It's a commitment. Like, it's not just some like casual thing for
it's
for Johnny Testarossa to come walking in with his sweater wrapped around his
no glitter bunnies
on his shoulders.
No glitter bunnies, no ravers. It's a lot of fun, and it's funny because if you do go in looking like a noob, like, people will correct you
and send you on your way.
They'll help you. Like, we had people come into our camp one time. It was late at night. Like, everybody has a bar. Like, one camp will be a bar, one camp will be a casino, one camp will be like a circus act. One camp's just like whatever.
Bands?
There's all kinds of things. There's bands. There's a huge stage, fire shooting out of the top of it. But it's like one night I was at our bar in our camp, and these two people came up and like clean white T-shirts. Like,
How dare you?
They're like, hey, can we get a drink? And they didn't have a cup, like fucking total noobs. And I'm like, not looking like that.
So you're supposed to have your own cup, like
that wasn't me being a dick.
Right.
That's just how it is.
Right.
I'm like, I can weather those clothes for you right now with blood, you know. And I had like war paint on and shoulder spikes and all kinds of shit. And they're like, oh my god, okay. And they left and they went to their RV and changed into normal clothes. You know, like, well, normal
wasteland clothes.
Normal wasteland clothes, and came back with cups. And they're like, can we get a drink now? I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, you're all right.
And they're like, are you in charge of these parts? You're just not.
I'm just drinking.
You just not following.
But now I'm in our the tribe I'm in is Black Thumb, and we're basically like the big car tribe. Like, we have a fucking jet car and a tank with a Ford Falcon body on it, and we have motorized. We have many tracked vehicles, many motorcycles. We've got a crane truck. We have a semi. All kinds of good shit.
That's awesome.
We've got a fucking, not a GTO, but a Le Mans that was literally dug out of the desert. My buddy Spud's kind of the ringleader of us fucking goons at Black Thumb, and he lives out there, and he actually a friend of his found this Le Mans out in the desert, and it was mostly buried, and it had been used for target practice, so it's just riddled with bullet holes and all this shit. And him and some of the guys they went out there, they found it, and it took them an entire day to dig it out, to get the earth to release it so they could take it.
Wow.
And then they had to try and get it on a trailer, and they broke a winch, and it was full of sand. Now, sand is really fucking heavy, but
and it gets everywhere.
It really does. It really does.
I was making fun of
Especially when everywhere is a car in I don't want to say a lake bed, but in a like where the stream is,
right?
You know, because the desert will flood, you know, and there's this path it always takes, and that's where that car happened to be. So all that sand got carried into this car, and it was completely impacted with sand. Like the doors on an old Le Mans are like this deep.
Right.
They were full of sand. The trunk was full of sand. The dashboard was full of sand.
So was it just left out there?
Sand.
Was it just
yeah? Someone abandoned it like 20 years ago.
Okay.
You know, it's been out there forever, and it's full of bullet holes. And anyways, long story short, they got it out. Got, you know, I'd say 90% of the sand out of this thing. Cut the engine out and everything, and suspension, and we put it on a Suburban chassis with giant fucking tires, and it's called Shark Bait now, and it's awesome.
I love the names
Spud's ride.
It's great.
Spud has a bunch of fucking killer cars, super cool stuff. The jet car is named Blowjob.
It's fucking great.
The semi's named Kitty. Everything has a name. But I fucking love those guys. Yeah.
I found this on the web.
Ain't nobody talking to you, bitch.
Did you get that? Take that, technology and society.
Spud, my watch is looking for you. But yeah, Wasteland Weekend is like, the first time I went out there, I walked around and took pictures of all the cool cars, and I came back to camp and I was like, I'm building a car for this shit. You know, and so.
And it's right over there.
As the tail goes. So yeah, I'm actually taking this year off. I'm going to do a northern trip. I do a big road trip every year in my van. Just to break it up a little bit, and then next year I want to start building a rig out there that's gonna live out there.
Cool.
Yeah, and some accommodations for me, so I can go out there whenever and have a little spot, you know. So yeah, but Mad Max is the shit, man. It's what dreams are made of.
It's what your apocalyptic dreams are made of.
Yeah.
Love it. It's awesome.
So shout out to my Black Thumb family. And that's what the guys in Mad Max are called that worked on the cars. They're Black Thumbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like the name anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. So, carry on.
I like it. Very good. What else you got, man?
What do I got? Well, I just went and saw some. We're gonna switch over to some music stuff here.
Cool.
Went to concerts last week or the weekend before. It was Mastodon and Gojira, and Lorna Shore.
would you like to describe Lorna Shore in the same way you did online?
Yes, Lorna Shore reminded me of what I can only assume it would be like to have a seizure in a fucking pig pen.
That's fucking great.
Were
they like the first opening?
They were.
The first, okay.
Yeah. I can tell that the band is the band. The people that play instruments are technically proficient, but at times the vocalist, everybody, like he's either like a pig squealing or I take that back, a pig grunting or like a goblin screaming, which doesn't really suit me. There are people that like it. I'm not one of them. But
I'm not one of them.
But there was a few times where like it seemed like the whole band was playing different songs. You know, it's like it was just I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea. But I'm not gonna bag on them too much. It's just not my thing. But
I'd rather listen to Dinosaur.
Yes, Mastodon was fucking phenomenal. Like super good, super good. And Gojira came on. I think Mastodon and Gojira were doing a split headlining.
Okay.
Tour, you know, so they flip flopped every night. And Gojira was fantastic too. So I was excited. I was excited to see that. Saw it at a cool place.
Do they have any kind of like? Because I know who Mastodon is. I don't know Gojira. Does Gojira have like, hence the name? Like, does it have some sort of like stage setup that?
Nothing to do with Godzilla.
Okay.
The two bands. The one guy came out and I think it was the guy in Mastodon. He said he was thrilled to be on a tour with Gojira, and between the two of them, they came up with a new style of music called whalecore. That's shit about whales, and it was funny, you know. Whalecore, look it up. And but yeah, that was really good, and I'm excited because tomorrow night I'm gonna go see Voivod, and Voivod has been a favorite band of mine since the late 80s. Yeah, I'm that old. Back in the day, I don't know what the date was. I'm gonna do a safe guess and say maybe it was like 87, 88-ish. Voivod was my favorite band, and they're from Canada. Very sci-fi kind of metal. Okay, really weird sound, dissonant chords, and just really, really weird and very bombastic and stuff. But I went to go see them at a club in Fort Lauderdale, on Fort Lauderdale Beach, called Summers on the Beach. And this is a very kind of legendary spot. You know, this was back when spring break was Fort Lauderdale Beach. That's when Summers on the Beach was there. So a lot of shows there. And so at the time, they were my favorite band, and they're coming to town. I'm like, fuck nice. Yeah, I'm so excited. Small club. It's gonna be legendary, right?
Which one?
Summers on the Beach.
No.
Oh, where am I going to see them now?
Yeah.
They're playing at Revolution.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Hopefully they fix the roof. Fucking assholes. Anyways, so back to Summers on the Beach. So my favorite band, Voivod, is coming to town. I'm going to get to see him for the first time. Super awesome. So stoked. So I go to the show. I'm there hanging out. There's 3 bands. The first band was a band called the Big F, and they're fucking terrible. That's what F stood for.
Right.
Fucking terrible. Really bad. Did not dig them, so I went and I sat at the bar and hung out and shit. And then the next band came on, and who was also not my favorite band, Voivod. So I didn't really pay attention to them.
You touched on this a little bit last week.
Yeah,
last episode.
Singers swinging around from the rafters and shit.
Oh,
it was Soundgarden. Opening for Voivod. Soundgarden.
Yeah.
Like Bad Motorfinger era. Didn't watch it.
You watch it at all?
I mean, I'm like, is Voivod on yet? You know, like, look at this fucking asshole swinging around from the rafters. You know, I'm like, okay. Didn't know about him. I didn't even know about him, you know? Like, so. Hindsight.
It's such a strange, that was such a strange time where, like, we were all MTV kids, and we transitioned from I remember like it was the summer of '90, and like I was listening to Motley and Poison, and I mean I've always listened to Kiss, but like all those bands. I loved the Bullet Boys. I loved like all that shit that was coming out. But then I just remember that I got introduced to the Chili Peppers and Jane's Addiction and Faith No More, and I mean a little late in the game, but the Cult. I was late in that game for sure. But like I just remember that was that summer where like those four bands were like. Guns N' Roses, obviously, too. But, like, all those bands. And then I went to the first Lollapalooza, so I got introduced to Nine Inch Nails and Body Count and Ice-T.
I'm jealous about
I know, yeah. I mean, I saw Rollins at that show, Ministry.
Wow.
Like, that year was the year that just, those couple of years where it was just sort of like, not that I gave up on anything that I liked back then, but, like, doors were opening up.
You broadened
for me.
your horizons.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Wow.
100%.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, and then the second year of Lollapalooza was Ice Cube, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam.
Was it Rage on that year?
No,
that was after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Chili Peppers headlined that. Who was before that? Oh, Susie and the Banshees. They were on the first one. Maybe it was Ministry that came on before. I don't remember. Whatever it was, those 2 years of Lollapalooza were pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Butthole Surfers. Cool. Still the Butthole Surfers.
Wow.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Who would you say is a band that you've seen in concert that is the most unlikely band that you've seen in concert? That, like, if you told your friends you saw that band, they would never fucking believe you in a million years.
What if I saw them by accident?
That's fine.
I've seen New Kids on the Block live.
Yeah?
At my grad night.
Hey,
so that's what I like. I had to give, like, that was not intentional.
Uh-huh.
Although I knew they were playing there, but I was like, I walked in and they were the band that was playing when I walked in.
Yeah, I think that's like the criteria. Like, you don't know what you're getting into, and you see this band. Willingly,
I saw the Monkees.
Oh, wow,
and I'll brag about that.
Yeah,
because that's fucking awesome. They were fucking great. And here's the other. Okay, so like, this isn't a long story. I can make this short, but like when the Monkees were playing, they played at Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. I worked at Great Adventure that summer, so I had like full ride. Like there was like I had a good view, and to be fair, I park cars in New Jersey in the summer, and I don't mean like I park cars. I was doing this shit. Go this way. Go this way, stupid.
You're a
Go
car
this way.
flagger.
Yeah. Out in the summer, New Jersey, dead heat for all day long. But I got to see the Monkees. It's the only time I've ever been to a concert where they shot a video. But I mean, at the time they shot just a video, not like an entire concert.
Right.
But that was pretty cool that I actually got to have that.
Cool.
I was very young when that happened. But do you remember when, like, I feel like the Monkees had like two runs, like they were for like our parents because they were obviously
like
sort
I remember
of
watching
their
TV show
because
when
you
I
watched
was a
it when it was
kid.
on MTV.
No, I watched it as a child when the Monkees TV show was on, like
reruns and shit, right? But do you remember when MTV got it and they like re-exploded?
No.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking. You're thinking about when you
I
watching.
remember seeing them as a child.
Okay. Because I remember it was like
like a child, not the man child that I am.
That's why we do this show, people. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
But
what about you?
My first girlfriend, this girl Michelle. I don't know if you remember Michelle. You might have. No, she was before we were in the band. Anyways, she begged me to take her to Miami to see some fucking.
We're already off to a good start.
Some goofy, like, I don't know, new wave band or some shit, and I'm just like, I don't like Miami. I don't like your music, like, and we went back and forth,
and that Miami sound was big back then too.
Yeah, and this was 80s. You know?
Yeah, I know.
And so after much back and forth, I think maybe the favors were offered or something. I don't know, but she talked me into it with her womanly charms, and so I drove to fucking Miami, which is an hour away, and so I go to this club, and all kinds of these fucking new wave people, you know, funny hairdos and neon clothes and shit. I'm like, oh my god, like I just wanted to like go see Metallica or Testament or something, you know. And I'm like, I want to see this shit, fuck, whatever, you know.
Something tells me this is gonna be good.
So finally, the band comes on, and they're all freaky looking, and I'm like, all right, I'm watching them. I'm like, I've never heard this before, you know. And I look over on the side, and there's like there's a big main stage, and there's a little side stage, and the side stage had a horn section. You had 4 people playing, you know, trumpets and whatever, and trumpets and saxophones, and I'm like, well, that's weird. Like, all right, listen to it.
I'm trying to guess who it is that you're
Listening
building.
to it, and you know, it's a small club, but it's fucking packed, you know. I'm like, all right, so I'm listening to him. I actually kind of got into it a bit. I was like, all right, this is totally unique. I've never seen this. I've never seen anything like this. It was Oingo Boingo. Yeah. So that was super cool.
Let me just say this, and this is just weird. This is completely. I had no idea he was going to bring this up. I'm writing a book, but it's a song book with all the songs I've ever written and stuff. And as I'm doing it, last night,
Okay.
I decided to put on HBO Max and put on Batman '89 because 2 reasons. One, and I literally explained this to my wife. I said, I've seen it a million times. I don't have to concentrate on it, but I sort of want to get like refamiliar with.
Best score though.
Just shut up for a second. Just shut up. And I want to get refamiliar again, seeing Keaton as Batman because The Flash is coming out.
Yeah.
He's
He's
Batman. And the second thing I said to my wife was, I want to listen to the music. Why?
Danny Elfman. He's the fucking
And I
man.
do love the Prince soundtrack too. But
Yeah.
like the Danny Elfman thing, I'm just sort of like, look at me, I'm writing songs, I'm a big artist. I'm going to listen to a guy who's fucking genius.
He's fucking brilliant.
He is brilliant.
Yeah. Yep. So, and I know that he stopped touring for decades because he had messed up his throat or something. But I heard that he was doing shows again. Like
He's
over the
jacked
last
and
few
covered in
years.
tattoos now.
Is he really?
Yeah. From
Wow.
I mean, it was kind of a shitty internet picture, but I was like, that dude's been working out, and he's got like a lot of ink, and he's playing shirtless, and everyone, from what I read, said it's a great fucking.
Does he
show.
look like Carrot Top?
A little bit.
That's scary.
I hope that came out.
Carrot Top's fucking terrifying.
What do you mean?
He's more scary than seeing like Pennywise, you know, like standing in the
Oh my
door of
God.
your room.
He really is.
I would shit my pants if Carrot Top was standing right
Or
there.
he'll rip your arm off and eat it, and take your sailboat.
Yeah. Fucking soulless weirdo.
Soulless ginger.
Oh
Fuck.
my god. That's my list.
That's my list. I was gonna do Boba Fett, but maybe we'll save that for the next one.
Oh. We got time?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right, fuck it. Let's do it.
You know whose podcast this is?
Ours.
That's right. We do every fucking
Go as long as we want.
Yeah. We might go till Tuesday. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, that is tomorrow.
All right, let's talk about Boba Fett.
All right, let's talk about Boba Fett.
Ask me something.
Did you like this series?
No.
Okay, did you like parts of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like the beginning of it, where he like has to get his armor back, and he's a fucking badass, and you know, he kicks some ass, gets his ship. Yeah, I like that part.
Okay, that's. I think it was what I tell people is I think it was good Star Wars, bad Boba Fett. Like it was fun to look at.
Yeah.
You saw Tusken Raiders.
That was great.
And, yeah, that was great.
All
And
of the
there's just so many
Tusken
others.
interactions were fun, fucking awesome, fantastic.
But
I
mean,
wanted more of that.
So did I.
Yeah,
and
I
I
wanted-
thought him taking over for Jabba the Hutt was great.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be a gangster, do some gangster shit.
Yes.
Don't be such a fucking nice guy. And they're like, oh, well, we had to change it so he became like a more likable protagonist. And I was like, anybody watch Breaking Bad or The Sopranos? We rooted for these motherfuckers.
Well, plus they had to put a female lead in.
Who did all of his dirty work?
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I love Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah.
I think she's great.
But she's not Boba Fett.
No, and she should be
Just like Bo-Katan isn't Din Djarin.
Yes, you remember?
Like, make a show for them. Don't
Yes.
have them take over an existing character.
Yes.
You know, it's like Boba Fett. is the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Ruthless. I remember Ruthless was always a thing.
Fucking ruthless. Yeah. Just the sight of him would fucking make people shit themselves. And he just sits around and talks. Disney. Thanks, Disney.
Yeah.
Thanks, Disney.
And he gave 2 of the episodes to The Mandalorian. 2 of the most important episodes of The Mandalorian, not in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Great to see Luke. Great to see Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. But, like, it didn't belong in that series.
No. That's another thing. Just like with Mandalorian, like I said, it's like if you have 8 episodes, don't use 2 of them as filler. You know, it's like why in Boba Fett, why are you going to give away 2 episodes?
Yes.
You know, like they needed put Din Djarin in to save it at that point because it was tanking so bad because it just had no fucking momentum. There's nothing happening, and I'm gonna go on a tangent here. The speeder, the
Vespa
scooter
bikes?
the Vespa, fucking
on Tatooine, a dust-covered wasteland.
What the fuck? That's so stupid. That's so stupid.
And they were in like Armani suits as their like.
It's so dumb. There's no need for that.
I did like. Okay, so they also. Here's one of the things I didn't like.
Scooters. Fucking scooters. It's Star Wars. I don't need scooters.
They wasted Cad Bane.
Yeah.
Who pretty much raised Boba Fett to be the badass that he was.
Uh-huh.
They blew that out, although I think he's still alive. I did like, however, I liked the end with, just for the fight scene alone, with Din Djarin and Boba Fett. Because it felt like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I think it was directly an homage to that.
I also really liked the whole Rancor thing, but I wish they would have gone more into it. Like spending a little time with it, training it,
more Danny Trejo.
You know, like that was more interesting than a lot of the other shit that happened to me, or for me, I should say. Nothing happened to me.
But the other thing is, thank God, he's all right. The Rancor wrecks that fucking town.
I know.
And at the end of it, everybody's like doing this, like bowing to Boba Fett, like, "Oh, thanks so much."
Yeah.
Thanks my house, dude.
Thanks for trashing our fucking town with your pet.
Yeah. Thanks for ruining the town, dude. Appreciate it.
On a crossover tangent, Mandalorian. There's I think it was the third from the end. It was called The Return.
Okay.
I'm like, Boba Fett's gonna come in. He's gonna come in and save the day. That would have made sense.
Yeah, would have.
He's just like the only one not accounted for. Like,
yeah.
You know, I'm like The Return. I'm like, oh fuck yeah. You know? No. Wouldn't that have been awesome?
Yes, it would have.
If they'd have gotten some shit, Bubba, you know, fucking came in, saved the day.
Like the sound effect.
Yeah. Slave One.
Yeah.
It's called Slave One.
Not Fire Spray.
Not Boba Fett's starship. Disney.
So stupid. So fucking
But that would have been
stupid.
great. I got so excited when I saw the title. I was like, oh shit, Boba Fett's coming back. Yeah, no.
So here's two things I'll say about Boba Fett. So when Boba Fett gets reintroduced in The Mandalorian season 2,
yeah,
I remember thinking and talk about like nerd boner was when he came in and started fucking stormtroopers up. I'm like,
that was so brutal.
We have waited 35 years to see this moment because we never really saw it with Boba Fett because we all had the action figure and in our brains that's how fucking badass he was.
Yeah,
and you certainly didn't see it Return of the Jedi.
It was one of the best action sequences ever. Him with all the stormtroopers just fucking cracking helmets and shit, you know. And I'm
even
like,
if he was a little fat.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Totally fine.
But he was a badass, you know. And then they go into the Tusken Raider, you know. So you see like how he got his gaffy stick and all.
It's awesome.
I'm like, this is going to be the best series ever. And it was just a high and went.
Yeah.
You know. So hopefully. Like, there's actually he's actually said the actor has said that he's like, I really wish they would have wrote him into doing more badass stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I agree. Here's where
Less
I think
talking, more action.
Yes. Yeah. Don't give it all to Fennec, or I think that was her name.
Yeah.
Here's where I accept an apology from Disney. You start season 2. So you start with Boba Fett sitting at the head of the table. Yeah. And this is complete fan service, by the way. But this is
kills everybody.
No. Like, no, that was season 1. I'm saying, say there's going to be a season 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So you have Boba Fett sitting at the head of the table, right? In in Jabba's palace. And P.S., why did Jabba's palace only have 3 rooms, just like the fucking movie? Let's see the whole fucking palace,
It's
dude.
a giant
It's
building.
gigantic.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start...
I did like that he just shot Bib Fortuna in the fucking
Yeah,
face.
I meant to, yes, and that was at the end of it. He tossed
he's
him
a
off.
badass.
He tossed him off the throne like a piece of
he's
shit.
Like, he's like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Okay, season 2, Book of Boba
Carry
Fett in Jim's brain. But there's Boba Fett. You pull the camera out, right? So then you see Kyrgyzstan, the big Chewbacca,
Yes.
badass Chewbacca.
Uh-huh.
You see him. Keep pulling the camera out. Then all of his capos are sitting at the table.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm talking gangster shit.
Now he's like a gangster.
Correct.
Yeah.
And who's sitting at the table? Bosk, Forlom,
Oh, that would be amazing.
Zuckuss,
Zuckuss.
Dengar, IG-88. Keep pulling the camera back. These are the guys who are going to handle your
This
gangster shit.
Yeah.
Apology accepted. But I need to see that shot.
That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah,
that would be incredible.
Yeah, all's forgiven.
That would be the shit. I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I don't either. But
Probably
I will tell you,
table full
that
of
would
cute women.
riding shiny scooters.
I like cute women on shiny scooters in French films.
And we smoke cigarettes and we talk to Americans. That's the worst French accent ever.
I work for Le Fête.
We call him Le Fit. We call him Le Feet.
Oh my god. But I don't know. I don't think it's not too far gone to save.
Yeah.
With the next, I don't know. I think they need better writers to really like fans. Fucking fans are just gonna be like, this is the scariest motherfucker in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna do some brutal shit.
Yeah. I mean,
Make it dark.
You don't have to like. You can still anti-hero. I mean, everybody loves Wolverine.
It doesn't have to be blood and guts, but he can still be a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to learn respect. Why?
No.
Power. Demand it.
You made a living out of scaring motherfuckers.
Yeah. If you're the most
By just showing up.
ruthless bounty hunter in the galaxy, start fucking people up.
Yeah.
Damn it, that fly.
Yeah. Well, we can hope. We can hope.
Well, we'll see. I mean, if they're going to have that movie that they're going to bring all these Disney Plus characters together, that you have to have Boba Fett. So there's chances for redemption.
Which movie is that? What are you talking about?
Okay, so there's going to be three Star Wars movies that are coming out. One has Rey in it. I think we talked about it in the last episode.
Yeah,
One has I don't even remember what the second one was. But the third one is it's the Mandalorian verse all coming together. So I think it's going to have
the
Mando, Ahsoka, and hopefully Boba Fett. But see Boba Fett doing some dark ass shit.
This fucking fly.
Yeah. Fuck you, fly.
On that note,
let's
call it because we got to kill a fly. Fucking kill a fly. Yo, kill a bee. Mastodon. We got things.
Fig Man.
Beer.
Yes.
All right.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks for tuning in. Let us know if you have any ideas, stuff you want us to talk about. If you agree with me that the first Dredd was the best one, and what do you think about the Bobaverse?
The
No Boba
Boba
tea.
busted.
Adios.
See ya.